Hi guys, okay, I'm filming at night so my lighting's not as pretty as when I film during the day, but that's okay. So I am 19 weeks pregnant. Today I'm actually filming on a Wednesday, which is what I'm supposed to. So we had the anatomy scan, which again, in case I always like to kind of refer to what some of this stuff is just because not everyone knows. It's funny when you've done this a lot, you just assume everyone knows all these terms and stuff, but that's not the case. So anatomy scan is just a scan that they do about midpoint of pregnancy to kind of check the baby's development, like specifically more like the organs in the brain and their size and all of that stuff. The baby was amazing. She was moving so much. She was kicking and squirming and moving her arms around, and you could just clearly see her drinking and moving her mouth, and it was absolutely, I think, the best ultrasound I've ever had. Like, I swear, every time I've ever had an ultrasound, my kids are just like asleep. And you have to like nudge them, and they're just like, they're not doing a whole lot. She was just like, woo! And Kyle, it was funny, Kyle was like, can you feel that? And I was like, yeah, I feel it a little bit. So I had talked about how I thought I was feeling the baby move, but it had to be her moving because it was definitely like more jabby, like jabs, but that I was just not 100% sure. And the reason why is because where I was feeling a lot of the movement was in a place that was really high, like higher than what they say is that at, you know, 18, 19 weeks pregnant, the baby's supposed to be at a certain point, kind of like there's under your belly button. No, my baby is way above my belly button. Like, my baby is like where all the apps say your baby should be, like way farther along than I am. So yeah, if you're like reading the apps and they tell you, oh, the baby's placement about 2 fingers below your belly button or things like that, yeah, don't just take that with a grain of salt. I am carrying so high. I have a really short torso. I am very short waisted. All my height, I'm just under 5'7". All my height is in my legs. So my torso is like, I swear it's like this big. I have like really long arms and like long legs and like a short body. And so, so I think that's part of it, but also, I don't know, I've been pregnant a lot, so I'm like, just, you know, my uterus just started to be like, poop, like just expanded up, and so the baby has lots of room. I don't know. But in the ultrasound, the lady confirmed, she was like, the baby is way up here. And I mean, y'all, like way above my belly button, like super high. And she was like, here are her actual like feet, and here's her hands, and it was so high. And so, and I mean, I can tell I'm carrying high in my belly shots and stuff, but and I could feel the little kicks and jabs up high, but it's so nice to have that confirmed with someone who's like a medical professional, so you're not like, am I crazy? Like, why am my baby's so high? So yeah, my baby is placed in a position that, according to the apps, it's like where you're at, like farther along. Anyway, I just thought that was really interesting of how high she is. She's super high. She's also measuring about 5 days ahead. Not just weight, like everything, like her, all the measurements were about 5 days ahead. They don't really change anything though, because it's normal to fluctuate. I mean, gosh, like I've read stuff that says 3 weeks either way. It's totally normal, and she's only 5 days. So, but on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm actually a little further along than I am, because if you guys have been watching this pregnancy journey, you know we don't know exactly when we conceived, 100% sure. And based on the early ultrasounds, I kind of had 2 different due dates, and one was a little earlier than the due date I'm going with. So whatever, it's about right. But she looked really healthy and everything looked really good, and she just was, like I said, moving so much. And so ever since then, oh my gosh, she moves a lot, and I can feel it a ton. At this point, normally you don't see a ton of movement from the outside, but one day she was moving a lot, again, super high up on my abdomen, and I was like lying there and I had my shirt up and I was watching. And she gave me 2 little kicks and my belly just like vibrated right there. And so I was like, whoa. I don't think I've ever seen my belly move at like 19 weeks, basically. Like, I mean, maybe it would have if I'd been studying it as hard, and I know I have from friends where they did, but like I can't recall that happened with me. So that was pretty neat. So yeah, she's definitely active and she's moving and she's growing. And I think the biggest thing this week for me is just, yeah, it's just feeling her move so much. It's really awesome. I'm still feeling really good. Definitely like I do have some hip pain. That's actually very normal to have hip pain, and so that I do have a little bit of that, but it's nothing too bad. I did get it pretty bad hip pain with my last pregnancies, I think more than one, so I'm anticipating that I'm gonna have some hip pain. I actually broke my hip when I was younger. I never know if that makes it worse or if it's just doesn't matter, but I always wonder if that like makes it worse. I was reading in one of my apps, like at this point they said you might notice if you've been on your feet a lot that you're getting a little swollen. I haven't really noticed that. I usually don't get swelling symptoms until further on in the pregnancy. But I did notice today I was on my feet a ton and I was not in very supportive shoes. And when I got home, I was like, my toes looked a little chunky and I was like, I think they're like a little swollen. It wasn't anything like bad and could have just been in my imagination, but I thought they looked a little puffy. I don't know, but it wasn't a big deal, you know. I was just like, maybe. So that's about the extent of it. I'm carrying super high. The baby's really high and feeling lots of movement. I'm still feeling good, a little achy in my joints, and that's about it. So yeah, and I'm close to halfway done. I have, knock on wood right now, everybody do it with me, but I have never reached 40 weeks in a pregnancy. My last was 39 weeks and like 6 days, so I've almost reached 40 weeks. But I have had one at 37 weeks, I had one at 38 weeks, and I had one at 39 weeks and 6 days. So we'll see. This one, each of my pregnancies, my babies seem to stay in longer, so I'm like, please don't do that, little one. Please don't do that. Please don't be the one that decides to go longer. I want them to stay in as long as they need to, but I'm totally okay if they want to come, you know, 39 weeks, I'm okay with that. So anyway, the whole reason I mentioned that is like, I'm halfway done or close to it at this point, possibly, so that's really nice. Almost halfway done. Yeah, and I'd like to do some more updates about kind of sleeping arrangements and things like that, but we are in the middle of like, our house is going to be going on the market in a month or two, and we're not, once some of that gets finalized and I know exactly where I might be when I have this baby, that'll make sense. But long story short is that she will definitely be with me. All my babies sleep with me at first, or in a little bassinet, like a co-sleeper or something. They're always with me, just because nursing, if you nurse, or if you've never nursed but you're interested in it, is very, that is one of the, like the perks, I guess, kind of, is like you can just literally like nurse them while you're laying down and keep sleeping, and it's really nice. And then like when they're finished, you can, you know, either if you co-sleep, you can sleep with them, or you can tuck them in the co-sleeper right next to you and go right back to sleep. And for me, it has just been that has worked really well for me. So that's what I do up until they're kind of sleeping more through the night, which for my babies kind of would be more, my oldest did it really early. So my second one was the hardest, and he wasn't that bad. It was about 8 months, 8 to 10 months when we got him solidly sleeping through the night, where he didn't wake up once. And then my third was around, I want to say around 6 months. It was kind of more solid straight through. So we've never had big sleeping things in this house, thankfully, with our kids. It's never been a big deal, so hopefully. But anyway, I do have ideas for nurseries and some of that fun stuff, but again, I'm not really going to get into that yet. I'm going to wait till we're a little further along. We are building a home, just FYI, in case you don't follow like our other parts of what's going on. So we're building a house, and it's supposed to be ready when I'm 9 months pregnant. So we're going to see how this goes, but basically, I've said this in an earlier vlog, was just that I might not even work on her nursery until after we move into the house, which might be after she's born. But since she's gonna be with me anyway, it's okay. And that kind of takes off some pressure from me. You know what I mean? To like not worry about that right now, worry about everything else. And then I can do that when she's, you know, here and tiny and little and whatever, I can do it then. Okay guys, so I'm gonna show you the belly. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to follow along and see what's gonna happen, because I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's this one should be crazy. I've had visions of whenever you're with a midwife, whenever you have your 6 week postpartum checkup that you do, like standard care, you know, with a doctor, midwife, whoever you're doing with, that's standard. The midwife actually comes to your house, and I've been having visions of like the midwife having to go to like a hotel room because we didn't have a house or something. So I just don't know what's gonna happen. It's a mystery. But all right, I'm just feeling really happy and really grateful and very excited about what's going on with life, and very excited about the baby, and I love feeling her move. I love it so much. And again, I will tell you guys her name soon. We still haven't decided on a middle name, so that's why we haven't shared yet, but we're getting there. Okay guys, I will talk to everyone in the next update. Bye.